Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from top to bottom hair and skincare. That's top to bottom hair and skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you. Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from top to bottom hair and skincare. That's top to bottom hair and skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.
We have a wonderful, wonderful time. Real talk. Real talk. Real talk. Man, this candle smells real good. I ain't put the lid on it all the way, but man, it smells real good. I'm still trying to put my brain around what it smells like, but I don't run around smelling stuff all day long. So I wonder what I'm trying to put in my brain around what it smells like. But it's been wonderful. I mean,
Alrighty, and hello. Welcome, everyone, to another fabulous night, a fabulous evening, fabulous afternoon. To all those that are joining in, excuse me, my deepest apologies. Had a really funny afternoon. Well, here on the Fracker Show, we had a show called earlier on the Fatatular Show. We have a collaboration that we do every Sunday with two other content creators on YouTube. Yes, you got to follow me on YouTube. YouTube channel at Fatatular. Exactly how it sounds. It's Fatatular. FATATCHULA. Of course, it's on YouTube. It's a big old yellow banner. You can't miss it. You got to subscribe so you can actually follow the channel. You can subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up to what the content you see. You could even join us on Sundays as of today for what we call the collaboration of the Fracker Show. And for anybody who's wondering what's going on, I have three other cameras going on to two other platforms as well. And I'm just trying to get everybody to come in to enjoy what we actually have to provide to them on the Sunday show of the collaboration of what we do called the Frackers. With that being said, first and foremost, I must give big old shout outs to the following people. For you guys on the TikTok, you got to understand something. In order for you to know who I'm talking about, you got to subscribe to my channel in order to see and know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the following people. First, most importantly, my Queen of Queens, top to bottom, that's T to B. Top to bottom, the Queen of Queens, of course, that's my queen. Got a big old shout out to her. Give another big old shout out to Little Niece Queen, Little Niece Sackcloth Queen. She's a wonderful person, beautiful attitude. I want to say she's kind of like me, where she wants to go and look for receipts because she pinpoints things. Because it's kind of funny today on the Fracker Show that no one caught something, but she did. So I know she loves receipts. So I had to give a big old shout out to her because she reminded me of myself, which was actually great. Another person, of course, a big old shout out to Out the Pit Podcast and Out the Pit Sackcloth. That's my little nephew. Oh, by the way, big old hug and an uncle hug to Little Niece Queen. Kiss on the forehead. Out the Pit Podcast, Out the Pit Sackcloth. Amazing brother, young. It's my little nephew. He has a great amount of content that he's putting in. He does a lot of I want to call it youth league or Utes, as we call it, Utes leagues football. and he does a lot of other content. You guys got to come check him out as well. Big old shout out to Brother Ron from Ron's Opinion Don't Matter. Ron is a gentleman, or a brother, rather, should I say, because a gentleman is a little loose because, of course, we're not really gentlemen because we're not gentle. Because if you bring the smoke, we're going to throw smoke right back at you. So we're not gentle at all. So Brother Ron from Ron's Opinion Don't Matter. Brother Ron has a plethora of content, from shaming the Democrats to government tyranny, to talking about guns and broke man stock buying and trading. If you want to join his channel, you can as well. But, I would always appreciate it that you join my channel as well, which is the Fatchula Show. That's FATATCHULA, the Fatchula Show. So you can enjoy me with my live reactions, because I believe in doing live reactions to get the interaction from the actual guest panel and or the chat room and subscribers. And of course, we have to give a big old shout out to my queen of queens, top to bottom, toptobottom.com. Top to bottom has non-toxic products, so that if you have any hair growth issues, you have any skin issues, your feet look like mine and feel like crocodile and gators, we got something for you. Okay, that's why it's called top to bottom, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. We also have candles, so you want to create that spa-like moment, you can. Gee whiz is because I have a whole lot of information on my head, and everything's trying to come out at once. It's like the floodgates is opening, and there's a plethora of information coming out, and I'm trying to contain some of it to keep on track to what I need to do. So with that being said, again, another shout out to A World Away From Here. World Away From Here. If you're into music, you can follow A World Away From Here. She has some great music, a plethora of music across the board for anybody and everybody. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of music you're into, but if you go check her out, you'll probably find something that you can create a playlist for yourself. And again, this is on the Fatchula Show that all this is happening from YouTube. Shalom, shalom, Sister Namaria. Always, always a pleasure to see Sister Namaria come in the building. We always try to find a way to make Sister Namaria laugh, because she's like myself and the rest of the family. We have a lot of things going on. Life is going on real hard, and we're always trying to find some humor. And coming to the Fatchula Show, the Fatchula Show tries its very best to present and bring humor to everything that happens. So with that being said, I must say this and foremost, everybody must understand something. On the Fatchula Show, we talk about live situations where people are going through things. We do not, here on the show, we do not laugh or find humor in the situation. We find humor in the actions of the people. An example is, if you're getting evicted, we understand eviction is very, 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 very bad. We understand it's very, very detrimental for some people. And at the same time, if you have a $60,000 car in front of your yard and you're saying you broke, there's a problem. So we're going to laugh at that. We're going to laugh at the person because they're trying to find some reason to stay out of it. Just like when you watch a body cam of someone getting arrested. I did it already a couple of times, a couple of my reaction videos where we watch a person try to talk real tough to the police officer, and they get all bad and they try to make believe they all gangster. The minute the handcuffs come out, they start crying like little girls and little babies. And of course, start saying, I'm sorry. I don't want to go to jail. But yet, we all know. So that part is funny, not the part of being arrested. So with that being said, of course, I believe I very, very much I appreciate that, little nephew. I'm sure you and Brother Ron could actually understand that, because we are three brothers who are definitely going through so many things, and we have so many things happening, and we're trying to keep everything in order without disrespecting anybody and or putting information out there that we don't need to put out there, because of course we all believe that until we actually reach the task, then we're going to tell everybody about it so they can actually enjoy what's going on and enjoy what we have to offer. So with that being said, on your TikTok, on the Facebook, and on the YouTube, follow, like, subscribe the Fatchula Show on YouTube. Fatchula is spelled Fatachula. You can't miss it. Big old yellow banner. Subscribe to the channel so you can actually join in on some of the fun, especially when we're doing the fracas on Sundays, and as often as I can come up with the reaction videos from everything that we do. Okay, yes, Sister Namaria, Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We've had to look for Christmas trees, frogs, Porsches, dresses from 1930s where people feel the need to hold on to a dress and turn around and say they ain't got no money. Do we know they got money? Or matter of fact, even a funny one, which was the casket. I did a video where we was trying to find out if the person that they was talking about that claimed to be missing was in the casket because they kept saying that their grandfather or grandmother was the one that was supposed to be paying the rent and all this other stuff, but there was the actual casket in front of the house, and everybody in the show was trying to figure out what it was and why why they had the casket in front of the house. Because no, you don't see a casket in front of somebody's house, especially if there's no what they call it, no gathering of a funeral and or the passing of someone. So that was a very, very funny one. Yes, little nephew out the pit. Yes, we also had an episode on the Fat Tactical show where the person that was being evicted claimed that she couldn't raise up the money, but yet she had a $60,000 portion in front of the house. She had $20,000 worth of goods in the house: TVs, radios, tools, etc. And then, of course, she turns around and she said that her boyfriend was locked up because he was a extracurriculum pharmaceuticalist. I'm going to put it like that. That's the only way I can put it. A pharmaceuticalist, okay? Because horticulturalism is not a crime, depending where you are. Okay? Because horticulturalists, we all going to be an horticulturalist someday, somehow, some way. So with that being said, I want to give you guys a real quick update on what tonight's show is. Tonight's show is a situation, actual situation of something that happened in February of this year, February 2025. A husband and wife were renting out an apartment, actually, they were renting out a house because it was a townhome. And some of you may have seen it, some of you have made known about it. I want to give my point of view behind this actual video, mainly because how I believe in passive income, and I always believe that being a landlord is the easiest way to create passive income. Yet a lot of people don't get into it because they're afraid of what will happen. In this video and tonight's episode, we'll talk about the biggest fear behind being a landlord when it comes to renting out a home and or an apartment and or just being a landlord, period. Yet the circumstances or the situation of the people is what's going to make a lot of people go, what? Or rather, I really keep my fingers crossed that you guys in the chat and you guys on TikTok can actually reach out to me and give me your point of view when I express what I express. So let's keep in mind as I present small information before we get into the show. We have a melanated, aka black couple. I don't like using the term black because black is not a race. We have a melanated couple, husband and wife, that own a townhome and decided to rent the townhome out to two women of the pale. That's the easiest way I can say it. All right, that's right. I don't say it. Two Caucasian women, right? Both the Caucasian women were, I want to say, very well off in their professions. One was a pharmacist or a nurse with a very, very well-known medical field or hospital. And the other one, hits a little close to home because I was actually an employee at DHL once before for corporate. I worked at the corporate office. And this person, a white female, was a corporate individual as well for DHL, which to me, that gives a bad name to DHL because we all know you can get good employees and we all know you can get bad employees. But to hear that what this person has done, this is not very, very nice. So I wanted to give you guys a little tidbit of what it is. We're going to hear from the actual homeowner what transitioned, okay? And this happened back in February. So with that being said, everyone, I want to ask you all to enjoy with me what is about to happen. So let's get ready to roll that bean footage.
Featuring Caitlin Poor of Atrium Health and her partner Kathleen Kennedy of DHL Logistics. So,
all right, so now you know me already. You know I'm going to stop it because I want to make sure you guys catch what she is saying. So right now she mentioned both women and she gave their names. She gave their full government names. There's a reason why she's giving out the government name because, of course, she is the owner of the house and she rented to two women. one that works at DHL Corporate, and one that works for Atrium Health as a nurse.
So, welcome to Season 1, Episode 1 of Nightmare Tenants, featuring Caitlin Poor of Atrium Health and her partner, Kathleen Kennedy of DHL Logistics. So, my husband and I, we have a rental property, and it's the home that we brought our kids home in from the hospital, and it's the house that we had planned to actually give to one of our children in the future. Our old tenant of 2 years was moving out, and we actually had a great experience with him. Anytime he had a concern, it was always handled and addressed promptly and professionally by my husband. And, you know, ultimately we still have a good relationship now. So this is where we enter Miss Caitlin and Kathleen. They moved in on Super Bowl Sunday and were only in the property for a week's time. When they moved in, they were informed that there was some paint touch-ups that needed to be completed in the kitchen just due to the removal of the popcorn ceiling. Ultimately, they were unhappy that this didn't happen in the expected timeline, but did express just how grateful they were for my husband's overall communication, especially because they had a
Now, as you heard us say, they were there for 1 full week. That's 7 days. I would say this automatically. You're moving in on Super Bowl Sunday. I got a lot of questions to ask. Why are you moving in on Super Bowl Sunday? That doesn't sit well with me. Once I heard that, I said, there's a problem. It doesn't make sense to me. That's like a person telling me they want to move in the middle of the night. No, what are you hiding from that you want to move in the middle of the night? I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right that people move on a specific kind of holiday, whether it's some of you celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's. You moving in on a holiday, there's a problem. You're trying to run for somebody, and or something else is wrong. And of course, let's not forget how they had already told the husband they appreciate his forwardness and his way of communicating, but yet complained about popcorn ceiling and paint.
Apparently had a bad experience with a landlord in the past, which should have been foreshadowing maybe. But once they moved in, they had an extremely nitpicky list of demands in their words. They stated that if we did not meet their demands, that they would be moving out. Some of them were a little bit odd. They sent a message stating that they had clogged the toilet with their.
Now, if someone turns around and tells me I have a demand, but I'm renting your property, my next phrase to them is, well, your demand will be met the moment you pack your shit and get the fuck out. And yes, in that same language, get the fluff out. Why? Because you're not going to put a demand on me. I'm the homeowner, not you. Okay? Now, before we get into it, I want you to keep listening because I'm going to point something out and I want you guys to catch it.
Own human feces, and that we would need to take care of it, and that is their word would be moving out. Some of them were a little bit odd. They sent a message stating that they had clogged the toilet with their own human feces, and that we would need to take care of it, and that is their wording.
Okay, people, you heard this, and I know you saw this. You saw 2 females, both white, Caucasian, pale as a sheet of paper, renting a home from this young lady here and her husband. Now, they don't show her husband till later on, but just to guess a little idea, you guys can see what I want to say, race, creed, where she's from, okay? And you saw that the renters were 2 white girls. Who in their right mind is going to tell the landlord, I need for you to come over to the house to unclog the toilet because it got my shit, literally my shit. They use the word feces. I'm going to say it. My shit is clogging the toilet bowl. If I got there, the first thing I'm going to say is, listen, you need to drink something to alleviate that gut that you got because you need more water. You need a laxative. You need a stool softener. What is it that you need that I can supply you with in order for you to not be clogging my damn toilet every time you go to the bathroom? It don't make no sense. It's your feces is coming out that thick that is clogging my toilet. What's wrong with your insides? That'd be my question. They too nice about this. You clogging a toilet with your feces. What you seriously need a stool softener. I want to hear the rest of this.
And the wording itself kind of just gave me weird vibes. But regardless, their concerns were addressed. They were told that if they wanted to move out, that we would break their lease. But ultimately, they were upset that they weren't going to get their February rent back, in spite of the fact that they were living there in part of February. And
now, many of you know this, and some of you don't know this. Okay, if you live in an apartment, whether it's an apartment or a house, and you in the middle of the month, and if you don't believe me, Google the wonderful, wonderful judge that I watched many, many times over and over again. Okay, wonderful old woman, Judge Judy. Judge Judy said it best. If you're in the middle of the month, you don't get no money because you're living out the month. Real simple. So they were willing to cut the lease, break the lease for these two women. Now, again, they're bending over backwards. We got to find out more.
they said that they would consult with legal counsel and get back to us as to whether or not they were going to remain in the property. They proceeded to use racial slurs, including the N-word, at my husband. So ultimately, he had a bad feeling about the tenants, and he stated that he was going to go out there and just do an inspection on Friday to make sure that everything was the way that it was supposed to be.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you now know what race this young lady is, even though she's, as many will call her, high yellow, right? Her husband is probably my complexion and maybe a little darker. Now, for a tenant, aka white girl, to turn around and use the N-word towards the landlord, that already tells you where we're going for this, right? So let's listen on.
So he went out on Friday, everything was in place, and fast forward to Monday, we get a call from the neighboring unit. We have a great relationship with all of our former neighbors. So they gave us a call and they informed us that there was water damage in their home that was apparently coming from our unit. So then 2 minutes later, I get a call from my other neighbor. She's not in the neighboring unit, but she gave me a call and she said that there's something going on at our house. There's water all in the street. She said she thought it was because it was raining, but she noticed that it was coming like from all around our property. And so I asked her if our tenants were.
Okay. You guys heard how this woman, her name is Miss Morgan, or Mrs. Morgan rather, Mrs. Morgan and Mr. Morgan have a property, a townhome, and their neighbors are telling them there's water coming from their home. Now, if anybody knows about water, water can destroy anything and everything in lickety-split moments. I don't even have an idea of how they are so calm about the situation. Let's continue.
Still there. She said that they left on Saturday morning. She said that a moving truck woke her up, and she said that they had a crew of like 20 people, and they were basically hustling to get out of there quick, and so she knew something was going on.
20 people that are moving? Now you know they were up to no good.
So we get in the car and we head to our old rental property, which is about an hour and a half away from where we live. And we get a call from the HOA. And they told us that they suspected that there was foul play. So as we're pulling up to the property, we see water just...
Okay. I have to pause it here, ladies and gentlemen, because I want you to be able to see this. These are some beautiful townhomes. These look very much similar to the townhomes where me and the missus used to live once before, or nearby. They look pretty much the same. And I can tell you, because I've done the work on some of these townhomes back in the day, you really can hear the neighbor if you don't have the right insulation. That's how thin the walls are. But look at the amount of water that right now is in the parking lot. This water apparently is coming from their townhome. This is a lot of water that's coming out of the house. If it's all the way in the middle of the road of where the car parks, you can just imagine Matter of fact, let's roll the bean footage.
Covering the parking lot. There's water on the outside of our house, water surrounding the property, coming out of the side paneling. The fire alarm is going off. We open the door and there is water everywhere. The entire first and second.
Welcome, Joyce. Welcome, Joyce. Welcome, Rolf, away from here. Thank you for joining us. Please, everyone, hit the thumbs up button. I can really, really appreciate it. Do you folks see, I want to call it the bathtub in the living room? I mean, again, like I said, I don't find humor in the situation. I find humor in the actions of people. We see a bathtub in the living room, in the home, and look at the roof. Look at the ceiling. I mean, look at the ceiling. The ceiling, you can already see holes in the ceiling.
Level is completely covered with water. It's seeping through everything. And basically the ceiling is caving in. So the fire department had to come to shut the alarm off, and they pointed out where Caitlin and Kathleen had actually unscrewed the toilet and damaged the pipe to where they could tell that it was intentionally done. We saw.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, nieces and nephews, friends near and far, please understand something. This is the reason why many people do not want to become landlords, because you get spiteful people like this that would do intentional harm to your property. This is beyond recognition. And I'm going to throw another word out there, but I want you guys to listen to what she's saying.
Where both of the pipes on both toilets were destroyed, and the water was turned on, so basically it would run and flood the place. So they completely destroyed our home to the point where it is uninhabitable. And not only that, but the neighbor's home is now destroyed. And, you know, me personally, I'm not understanding how anyone could do this to someone's home, especially when my husband was nothing but accommodating and professional with them. And it really honestly just takes it a step further when Caitlin, who works for Atrium as a PA on emergency, would think it was a good idea.
Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand something. This is not defamation. Now, again, remember, you guys know I actually talk about situations and I give my point of view and I try to explain certain things. This is not defamation. She's not defaming this young lady, nor is she trying to put bad verbiage about what's happening. This is not an alleged moment, okay? I despise when people use the word alleged. Alleged is when you don't have any physical proof, and it's a guess. Right now, we have physical proof that this young lady signed a lease saying that she wanted to rent out the home of Mrs. Morgan and her husband. I gotta let you guys listen to the rest of this.
To create a safety hazard and a fire hazard in a unit attached to other homes where there are children and elderly people living literally next door. And then following the incident, when we called them regarding the flood, they stated that they were not going to talk about it and that they just wanted to return their keys back. So obviously, audacity is running at an all-time high on this Tuesday, and it's in moments like these when I'm reminded that while God is real, demons are too, because this is nothing but demonic behavior to intentionally vandalize someone's home to the point where we can no longer enter the property, let alone have somebody live there. All of the time and the money and the investment is, gone and wasted. This was truly an act of pure evil, and these two people really need to be held accountable for their actions. And it's truly a shame that anyone could really do something like this. On our end, we have filed a police report. We have contacted their employers. We'll continue to keep you updated as we document the progression of all of this. We've, of course, contacted our lawyers. It's an unfortunate and an unnecessary situation. And while it's a huge hit, we're just trusting in God and remaining positive. And we just ask for your continued prayers during this time. But ultimately, we know that everything will work out for the better. So I hope that your Tuesday is happier than ours is. But that's it for season 1, episode 1. Catch y'all on episode 2.
Okay. So I paused it there because we're going to take a break. They never actually made a part 2. They actually made a part 3. Okay. Now, some of you by now maybe have seen it, heard it, or someone talked about it. Let's understand something. The renters were 2 white girl, female, women, people. The homeowners were 2 husband and wife, 2 melanated, aka black people. This happened in North Carolina, Greensboro. Now, I'm going to say this. She said demons are real. She said evil is out there. This is clearly a case of, I don't like you because you're black. It ain't right that you have something that I don't. I'm not going to let you enjoy something that I have. And they already knew that they were going to destroy this couple's home because they moved in on Super Bowl Sunday and then had a list of demands, even down to, and this is the part that you guys may have not caught. They turned around and sent a text message saying you need to unclog the toilet because I put shit in it. My own shit is inside the toilet bowl and it's clogged. You need to come unclog it. Who in your right cotton picking, bloody stinking rear end thought of a process you're going to tell a homeowner that they got to come and take the shit that you left in there out of the toilet that you're sitting on? Did you really not notice how that was straight a racial motivated moment? This is clearly racially motivated. This is clearly 2 white women, let's call it as it is a spade. 2 white women didn't like the fact that a black man and a black woman owned a house that was much more better than theirs because they couldn't afford a house. So they destroyed the house and try to have the husband, because he's black, come over and scoop up their shit. Is that not a sign of being racially motivated? I mean, come on now. Call it what it is. And that's what it is. They're racist. They didn't like the fact that there's a melanated couple. Clearly, you could tell she ain't white, but she could pass for one. But then again, you can see that if you don't own it, just because you're a different persuasion, different race, why are you going to destroy somebody else's stuff? You got that much hate in your blood that you have 2 very good positions. One of them was working for Atrium Health, and the other one was working for the DHL Logistics. 2 white females. Now, I can tell you from experience that when I worked at DHL was making at least $65,000 a year. At least 65. What the other one was making, I don't have a clue. But why would 2 people combined salaries making almost $150,000 destroy somebody else's house just because of their race? We clearly see it's because they were black, aka black or melanated. They destroyed their house because they left in a week.
Season 1, episode 3 of Nightmare Tenants, featuring Caitlin Poore and Kathleen Kennedy.
So here you clearly see two white females that destroyed a melanated couple's home. Destroyed it. Even down to now, not only did they destroy their home, the neighbors' homes, because them townhomes are connected. So there's one house to the right, there's one house to the back, depending which one you have. And if you have a unit, a home that's in the middle, you have 2 homes on the left and right, and then you have one that's on the back as well. So that's 3 homes that's surrounding your home as well. So not only did they destroy their home, but they actually destroyed parts of the other houses as well. Do you know how much money this melanated couple has to pay in insurance to fix the 3 other houses, including theirs? Out of spitefulness, out of straight hatred for melanated people for being powerful in the sense of having something and being proud that they're owners of something, trying to create passive income, trying to create a legacy for their own children. You saw how she said in the beginning, it's intentional to leave it for the children so the children can actually have something. The prior tenant was a great tenant. And then here are two people who came with very good credentials. One's a nurse for Atrium Health and the other one's for DHL Logistics. Very good. And we're sure that they probably have good credit. So good credit, good money, good jobs, but they hate melanated people. Clearly, they hate melanated people. So is this a fair assessment? Now, mind you, keep in mind, this happened February of 2025. It wasn't several years ago. This was February of 2025. Let's hear what happened.
Who destroyed our family's rental property and also our neighbor's home. So this is the update you've all been waiting for. Caitlin and Kathleen have now officially been criminally charged under NC General Statute 14-127, injury to real property. While we are grateful that some level of accountability is happening, we have to ask, why aren't these charges felonies given the magnitude of the damage? So here's what the statute says. NC General Statute 14-127, injury to real property. If any person shall willfully and wantonly damage, injure, or destroy any real property whatsoever, he shall be guilty of a Class 1 misdemeanor.
Now, this is where I say you got to move into a state where you know the laws if you try to become a landlord and or a business owner. Because let's keep in mind, this is a business for Mrs. and Mr. Morgan. Even though they're landlords, it's still a business because they're renting it out. So it's a business. So the first thing you need to do is you first need to know the laws of your business. So if anything does go wrong, you know what to do if something happens. Now, I could tell you like this. It would have been me. Yeah, we would not be able to have this conversation on the internet because I could tell you right now, it wouldn't be pretty. Okay, you taking a $500,000 home and destroying it, and all you get is a slap on the wrist, and maybe, just maybe, I may get that money back. Oh, hell no. These people, Mr. and Mrs. Morgan, are not ever going to see that money come back. A $500,000 home, their insurance policy is probably $1 million. The damage that they did to 3 houses around them, which now increases their insurance policy, because of course, not only on that home it increases on their cars, it increases on their other home as well. For the damage of 2 people who hate melanated people, stones, if you get my drift, is what's needed.
But NC General Statute 14-144, injury to real property malicious, states that if the damage is done willfully and maliciously, and the damage is valued at more than $5,000, the person shall be guilty of a Class 1 felony. So let's do the math. Mitigation, roughly $16,000. Property damage is now a minimum of $60,000. Mortgage payments continue on a now unlivable property. Estimated timeline until livable is roughly 10 months. This clearly...
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all do the math that quick? Hopefully you did, because I did. $60,000, $5,000 a month in interest. The mortgage on the home still gets paid on an unlivable home for 10 months. If her mortgage or their mortgage is roughly $600 a month, you're still looking at $30,000. To repair the home is $60,000. $5,000 on top of that, $100,000. You're talking about almost $275,000 is what they're losing. And they want to give them a misdemeanor?
Meets, if not exceeds, the felony threshold. So we are calling on authorities to reassess the charges and apply NC General Statute 14-144 as the destruction was both willful and excessive in cost. And
I got to freeze frame it here. I know Brother Ron, little nephew out the pit. We know what that is. For those that don't know, those are floor joists. and a subfloor to the room upstairs. The white pipe down the middle is the sewer pipe. Just so you get an idea. Now, I've done homes like this. She says $60,000. Just to get the moisture out of the house, it takes a minimum of that magnitude of water, a minimum of 2 to 3 months just to get it air dry, because you can't force it. You got to air dry it. You now lose all the insulation. You lost all the sheetrock, because all the sheetrock got to go. The floors got to go. So everything is back to its bare minimum. Again, it's a home that they're paying a mortgage on. Now they got to turn around and be upside down. For anybody who doesn't know what upside down means, is the amount that the house is worth has now doubled or maybe even tripled because of this. So if the house was $500,000, it's already $1.5 million. Now, the worst part is that at $1.5 million, it may not be able to be sold at $1.5 million because of the area comps, which is all the houses around it, may not be that worth, but they have to pay $1.5 million. So that means now they're paying more money into this house that they can't even sell because of this damage. Now, when I mentioned Ron before, and I mentioned little nephew out the pit, is because we all three of us worked at Home Depot. So we know how much these parts run. We have a very good idea how much it costs just on this small frame here. We know that that's at least $15,000 right there. In that small little time frame, that little window is $15,000. That's not talking about the windows, the stairs, the floors, the carpets, the removal, the drying, the cabinets, the staircases, the stair joists, the run boards. So far you hear they got to rebuild this whole house again. And they got to stay within budget. Because 2 women didn't like the fact that 2 melanated people owned such a beautiful home.
And here is the current state of our home.
Okay, so I see somebody has a question there. What about the joists? They don't have to replace all that flake board too. They do have to replace it. All that is brand new. It was soaked. They are replacing everything because, of course, we got to remember, the water was dripping through the ceiling. That's what all the little holes were in the ceiling. When the husband walked through the door, the water was dripping like it was rain from inside. So the floor joists are damaged because, of course, we know, or rather those that build homes, and I'm sure Ron has, most of the time you use nails. The nails get rusted. The rust creates a problem when you put new insulation. It gravitates to the new insulation and it becomes a problem. It's almost like a mold and mildew gets created because there's water inside the channel where the nail is at, inside that joist, inside that A-frame. They can't have that. They got to take everything out, put everything brand new again.
So we'll keep you updated on how things progress from here. I just want to say thank you all again for the outpouring of support. My inbox is...
Okay, so thank you, everybody. And the reason why I wanted to show you guys this video tonight is because of X. We all know that I talk about passive income. You all know I believe that if we create passive income, we tend to have a much better way of living because things are very tight for many of us. And sometimes, no matter how much you try to create passive income, something blocks you, okay? Now, let's look at the other side to this coin here. It's racially motivated, and it's terrible that still in 2025, we constantly hear about it, yet we don't see it. Here is a prime example of how people with hatred, I'm going to call it like it is, white people still hate black people for becoming powerful in the essence of becoming homeowners, business people, and having money. It still seems and still shows that there are white people out there that don't like the fact that melanated people can become just as flourished, I want to say, just as powerful as they are. You have to be, it's not even hatred, okay? It's not, I can't say it's hatred. Hatred is just a little too far. You have to be completely off your rocker to actually sit back and say, I'm gonna just fluff up these people's houses because they're making more money than I am, and I don't like the fact that I can. That's pure jealousy on top of hatred, if you want to call it that way. Okay, because it was two females, both making very good money. Okay, and it's disgusting on how we actually saw a husband and wife get their home destroyed because of that nonsense. Joyce, it's okay. I understand. I don't hate you. I still love you. I got mad love for you. Listen, it's gonna sound funny. I don't hate no persuasion whatsoever. I just don't like the actions of the people. Okay, whether it's just a terrible thing that we see on a lot of my shows. We see a lot of melanated people, aka black people, being evicted, and the homeowners or the owners of the buildings or the houses happen to be Caucasian or some light-skinned individuals. And of course, there's this phrase that people say, only black people do this. Only black people can be wrong. Only black people get evicted. Only black people always causing trouble. Hell no, I just showed you. We got two women who make very good money, because I worked at DHL and I was part of corporate. And that female that worked logistics, she's got a $60,000 salary. And the other girl worked for a hospital as I think she's a PA or a nurse. She's making at least $75,000 a year. It's a damn shame that these two women did not like the fact that here's a melanated couple that was much more successful than they were. That's clearly what it was. And it's a shame that other Caucasian people tend to not realize that your own clan is doing wrong. Okay? And it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing on how you have your own clan doing you wrong. The same way, again, aka the melanated people, black people, they do wrong to each other too. But a lot of people don't, I was told a few days ago or a couple of days ago, media looks at black on black crime and makes a whole big deal about it. Do you folks know that this situation was only presented for 3 days on news media? 3 days. So February 25th, 27th, and February 28th. 3 days. Why was it only 3 days? Because the victims were melanated. Okay? That's why it was only 3 days. Because I'm sure that if the tables were turned, that story would have hit the news media for months at a time until they went to court. Okay? Because why? Because the narrative is to destroy the powerfulness and the likelihood and or the suffering to be successful amongst the melanated people, brown skin, black skin, tan skin, high yellow, whatever you want to call it, are not being successful. And it's a damn shame that it's actually happening and it doesn't get the media and it doesn't get the people's attention to really scrutinize a person regardless of who they are, what they look like, where they work, and so forth. Now, again, I would have went back to old school ways. Straight stoning. That's it. You destroyed my house, I got to pay $1 million plus back, but my house is not even worth that much. It's disgusting. Okay? So please, everybody understand something. This is not a point of trying to pick on anybody particularly. No, I don't believe in picking on anybody. I pick on the situation. The situation is disgusting. I used to be a DHL employee. Okay? I know what it's like of being an employee at DHL. There's no damn reason, no logical explanation for a white woman destroy the home of a black-owned home by a black person, aka melanated. It's not right. That shows pure jealousy. That shows pure hatred. That shows pure ignorance behind you, especially if you have good credit and you're white and you have a good job. Because normally, those are the 3 good strikes. For a melanated person, bad credit, shitty ass job, can't get anything. So why is that? Because of situations like this, it's unfair. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I got a comment over here. Black on black crime is the problem in Chicago. Where's Al Sharpton now? Al Sharpton is sitting in the background collecting all the money from the DEI that many people decided to allow that stupid ass mayor take over inside the city of Chicago. That's what I got to say behind that, because he's getting a whole lot of money. The city of Chicago got over $100,000 grant and only $5,000 went to the city of Chicago. Where'd all the money go? Ask the mayor. Y'all want to be mad at Chicago? Y'all want to be upset? Turn around and tell the mayor to let go of his actual security detail and walk down the street and see what happens to him. I'm just saying. Now, for you TikTokers and you YouTubers and you Facebookers, please like and follow the Fatachula Show. The Fatachula Show is FATATCHULA. Join the channel, follow my channel, like and subscribe my content. Give me a thumbs up. You could also send me content that you want me to do reaction videos on. Tonight's reaction video was based on this young lady because I feel the need to let the people know that are out there that white people, yes, I'm going to say it just like that, white people are jealous of AKA black people. Here's a clear indication of how white people are just jealous of black people. To destroy a husband and wife's property is disgusting in that magnitude. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, nieces and nephews, as I always say, I thank you very much for joining me this evening. I know it was a short one. It may not make people laugh, but this was more to bring insight and bring highlight to how we have to come together. If we are brown skin, white skin, black skin, because some brothers in Nigeria, okay, and some sisters in Nigeria, we all need to come together. We come together and make the world a much better place. Because at the end of the day, it is about us coming together to actually take on everybody else and be happy and fruitful. And of course, the same way, a los hermanos y hermanas, nosotros tenemos que ir juntos y juntarnos. Así nosotros para echar para adelante, porque nosotros juntos tenemos más poder. Y esa es la situación que nosotros tenemos que saber, que siempre unidos es poder. Sin el poder, nosotros no somos nada. So with that being said, if we are not together, as we don't come together, think about this. You take 20 twigs. I don't care where you find the 20 twigs at. You grab one twig, it snaps. You grab 20 twigs, you put them together, you're not able to snap them. Why? Because they came together. That's what we need to do. Brown people, black people, people of color, people that understand things, we all need to come together. Once we come together, I don't care if you're white, green, blue, orange hair, purple hair, pink hair. We respect each other. We come together. We're much more powerful because we've come together. Diversion or division from certain classifications of people into our fold makes it very difficult for us. So please understand something. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm trying to make you guys understand something, because right now we're transitioning into a new year. 2026 is coming around the corner. So as 2026 comes around the corner, I want you guys to be ready and fruitful and be much more powerful for 2026. And of course, for the ending of 2025, look at all the things you've done, look at the accomplishments you had, and keep moving forward. So with that being said, until the next time, the next reaction video, I thank you all for joining us, or joining me, Jay, on the Fatachula Show. Once again, the show cannot be great without your support and without your involvement. So as long as you guys come in, give me your point of views and questions and concerns, trust me when I tell you, I will go back into the comment section and I will answer everybody's comment. Do not feel I do not do that. I do. I do go back in and I do respond to every comment, give you my point of view outside of the screen. But I don't want you to feel I never answer your comments and questions, okay? So with that being said, as I always say to everyone, and I try to say this as much as possible, please, please, please do not tell your loved ones goodbye. Tell your loved ones you'll see them later. Even if you hate their guts, even though they turn around and get you all upset, tell them you see them later. Because if you never see them again, it hurts 20 times more. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone's coming in. I appreciate everyone spending time with me. And I'm glad you was able to do that. It showed me some mad love. So with that being said, everybody, I will see you later until the next reaction video, which probably will be tomorrow. So it'll probably be Monday evening. So with that being said, a big salute to my little nephew out the pit. A big old brotherly love to Ron from Ron's Opinions Don't Matter. A uncle love hug to little niece Queen. Kiss on the forehead. I'll kiss my Queen of Queens in a moment. A World Away From Here, big old shout out to her. Yes, everybody, please, if you like music, go follow A World Away From Here. Her music is divine. Yes, it is beyond words can actually explain how well her music has come together. And of course, Joyce Ort, I'm still waiting for some more canning and some other products that she has coming out. And as always, for those that are listening on the TikTok, on the Facebook, on the YouTube, check out toptobottom.com. That's TOP2 BOTTU for unique M.com for that hair product that you need, because you know the winter's coming up. You need to wash your hair right so that it grows better. Come check out the product. Buy something that you may need, or buy something that someone else needs, because you know you got a friend out there that's got them edges that's looking kind of messed up. They need to get them edges fixed. We have something for it. Check out toptobottom.com. And if you got a nose like mine, you love candles, come check out our candles. We got a big candle sale coming up. And if you need something for the body to make yourself feel like it's smooth, like a big old fish, we got something for that too. And of course, most importantly, if you got bad feet, they look like gators, like mine, and they feel like gators, and you're cutting up your sheets, we got something for that too. So don't be ashamed. We understand. Check out toptobottom.com for your products and the gifts. And with that being said, I'll catch everybody later.